Universal Studios are currently building a massive new theme park here in the UK, located in Kempston, Bedford. And with this brand new park set to open in 2031, and with me constantly going down to the site to check out what they're doing 5 years beforehand, if you don't know, I have also decided to take up the challenge of recreating the entire theme park before it's even opened or built, using the one concept art that got released upon the official announcement. And in the previous episode of this recreation series, I pretty much skipped all the way over to that huge Back to the Future looking roller coaster in the corner and built the entire layout and support structure. Now it's time to theme it all. As in today's episode, I'm going to be creating the entirety of Hill Valley, the famous iconic location from the Back to the Future movies, that from that concept art is set to be what's going to surround the area of this coaster. So be sure you watch till the end because I'm going to show you everything I've built, and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss future episodes of this series and also future construction updates, because I'm going to be at that site a lot over the next 5 years, because this is literally the biggest thing to ever happen in the UK theme park industry, maybe even Europe as well. It's a huge project. It's going to be a huge theme park, the best theme park in the UK. How can I not be this excited for it? How can I not want to cover it this much on the process of it being built? I know we've still got 5 years, and by the time it opens, I'm going to be 26, I think. Yep, 26, which is terrifying. I'm still very excited for it, and I can't wait to bring you more content about it, not only through the updates on the actual site and like walking past, seeing what's going on, but also here with the recreation, the pre-creation of Universal Studios UK. Welcome back to episode 6. Do need to mention, if you remember the last episodes, that was like 2 months ago or something, I can't remember, bit of a gap, but in that episode I'm pretty sure I said, welcome back to episode 4. Where's episode 5 gone? Well, turns out that episode was actually episode 5. It's been that long that I completely forgot I released an episode 8 months beforehand, and I just said it was episode 4 even though it was episode 5. So we're actually here for episode 6 now, back on track, building the Back to the Future area, and I know I skipped to this area last time because obviously the swing launch had just been sort of put into the game, or not just, but a little bit beforehand. I had to make the Back to the Future coaster because that looks like it's going to have switch tracks, really fast launches, and like spikes and everything. I had to use that to make that coaster. I really wanted to do it. And as much as I have gone over there and built the coaster, I didn't want to then just, go back to the Minions land and continue building that because it's not as cool. So what I did is I have now built the entirety of that Back to the Future land and area. Hill Valley, by the end of this episode, you will see, is pretty much complete. There's still a few like inside of buildings and stuff that I haven't done, or I might not end up doing because of piece counts and stuff, because we know with my parks in this game how many pieces I like to use, and then my computer can't handle it. So just keeping a sort of eye out for that. But at the same time, I'm really happy with how this has come along, and you're going to see it develop over the course of this video. So as you can see, we've got the center right here, and that's sort of like the middle park area that you very much do see in this iconic setting in the films, that does transform over time. So we don't actually know what era of Hill Valley this is going to be. Of course, those films go through various different time frames, obviously the future, the past, the present. Which Hill Valley am I using? A little bit of both. Well, all three. Because I thought we've got so many films that you could base the Hill Valley section off of. Why would you just do it on one? So there's going to be some shops and some names of like a cafe and everything that's from the future, and then some from the past, and then it's a bit of a mishmash. But I kind of like it like that. But the one thing that does remain, no matter what sort of era or year you're in of Hill Valley, is of course the town hall, the clock tower at the back. As you can see, I'm building that right now. That, I presume, would be the entrance to the ride. It'd be stupid if it's not. Like, oh, you're going to enter around a little side door. No, there's a massive town hall in front of you. You've got to enter in there. It would be insane. So hopefully that is the case. But as I build this clock tower, or town hall, or whatever you want to call it, and I recolor it and then start building the back wall, hopefully. Yep, there we go. As I start doing that, how do I know that this is a town hall? How do I know it's Back to the Future? How do I know that it's Hill Valley or the coaster layout, the DeLorean? Well, if it's Back to the Future, you'd put 2 and 2 together and imagine that the train would be a DeLorean. How have I known these things? Well, we've spoken about it before. I'll go through it again just in case you don't know. The concept art that released back when the project was first announced on April the 9th, I believe. It's now over a year since this project was announced, which is just insane. Can't believe that. But when it was released and that concept art was sort of showcased to the world and we saw it for the first time, it's obviously going to change a lot from that, and it will probably be completely different. But with that being said, you've got this coaster down in the bottom left, this blue looking coaster. If I remember to put it up on screen, then fantastic. If I don't, then I sincerely apologise, but I always forget. But I won't forget this time, because in the concept art, as you can see, if we zoom down onto the sort of bottom left hand side, the west of this image, you've got this huge blue roller coaster amongst the woodlands, and there's a lot of trees around, not too much theming there, which we'll actually go and do later on. We'll sort of put the trees in and everything. That is on the concept art. We've built that coaster with the switch tracks, launches, whatever. Then the coaster appears to launch out of into some sort of airtime hill and also go back into a brake run, back into a building. Two separate buildings by the looks of things. And then you realise behind that there is this massive U-shaped like collective of buildings, along with a gap in the middle where you can see lots of guests walking around and some pathways, lamps, and a lot of trees and some buildings in the background. I think literally anyone could work out what this is. Big, tall roller coaster that probably goes around 88 miles an hour with a square right behind it, with a massive building sort of being the face of it right at the back of the area. It's got to be Hill Valley. Like, it can't not be. Like, it's a square with loads of like grass and a few trees which they've painted over. I would imagine that's just to cover things up, because if you don't know, again, this is going way too deep into things. If you zoom right on into a very high quality image of this actual concept art, which the government sent me one, so I've been zooming into that, which is why it's so high quality, I guess. The one that I've got, if you zoom in enough onto the sort of Jurassic Park areas, as I now build some of the trees and do some of the terrain, marking out where those buildings are, you can actually see very blurred sections painted over where potentially the Jurassic Park archway would go. And the same has happened here. It happened in Minions Land as well, on some very sort of main points that would tell you, oh, that's going to be Super Silly Funland. Oh, that's going to be Minions related. On those sorts of areas, they've just blurred it out with random paint. So that's what they've done in the centre of Hill Valley here, putting that sort of trees and bushes everywhere, all in the centre. It definitely won't be that amount of like foliage in that bit. It will probably be a lot less. There'll be a lot of green from where that park is, and maybe a tree or two, but not that much coverage. And you can clearly see the top of the main town hall building at the back looks very sort of jagged compared to the rest of the buildings around. So yeah, very interesting stuff, but that still doesn't tell us if it's Hill Valley or not. If you then zoom in even further, there's two buildings at the bottom of the sort of square bit from where we're looking. One of them is tucked very much deep into the corner next to the town hall, and you can sort of see it's got this one little bit that sticks up quite high and little curved sections on the left and right. And then there's another building that has quite a pointy roof, and these are clearly just facades. Like, they're not going to make like full buildings, but you'll have these warehouses behind these facades that will make it feel like there's shops and all that sort of stuff, laundrettes, cafes, whatever they want to put in a theme park. Who the hell's putting a laundrette in a theme park? What's going on? Those buildings are very, very identifiable with buildings located in the exact same places within the Hill Valley Square in the Back to the Future films. So you will literally see me. I haven't looked at the concept art whilst building this. I've been looking at reference images of Hill Valley. You will see these buildings come to life in the exact locations they are in that concept art, just because I've been looking at Hill Valley references. It is 100% Hill Valley. There's no world in which this can't be, which is why I've now gone to making this area now. Of course, the Minions Land as well, we thought that's 100% going to be Minions. We also thought Jurassic Park looks very Jurassic Park, like that looks exactly like it would if it was going to be built in real life. Waterworld is in there. There's that one area in the back that's supposed to be like Shrek, and it's got the, I think it's like the Poison Apple Pub or something like that. That's very blurred as well, which makes people think that's just sort of a placeholder. Again, this concept art could fully change. There's expansion areas as well. There's so much potential for this park, and I just can't wait to see it. Paddington's in there as well. We'll have to build that next. And yeah, we're now building the sort of side buildings. This is that one with the pointed roof I was speaking about, actually, as I build that. Literally just going off references from Hill Valley. Nothing to do with the concept art. And yeah, they're obviously going to have to shift it around a little bit with the theme park area compared to the real set, because there's a very iconic location in the Back to the Future films that is sort of a diner or like a cafe, and you just know for a fact Universal will want to make that cafe and diner so you can actually go and eat in it, and you can go and get some food or like a hot chocolate or whatever you want. Or a chocolate milk maybe. They will make some sort of way to do that diner. It'd be such a missed opportunity. Can you imagine? They open the whole of Hill Valley. They've built this amazing area, Back to the Future roller coaster, where you sit in a DeLorean, you launch 88 miles an hour, and the diner is just a facade and you can't actually eat in it. I mean, I'd still love it, of course, but a lot of people would be like, oh, what a missed opportunity that would be. I think they're definitely planning for that, and especially because in the concept art, I can sort of potentially see where that diner would be, because there's also a lot of like seats and stuff outside the back, and you could go and sit around there instead of actually sitting in the diner if it's too busy. But at the same time, that diner in the actual real set is a building opposite the town hall, so it would sort of be where all those trees are, or that open pathway is on the concept art, and they clearly aren't planning to block off this area with buildings and sort of have it so you enter through like an alleyway or like a side walk bit. Sidewalk, I'm turning American. They want it to be really open and you can see the whole of it from wherever you're walking past or walking into it. So I don't think the diner will be in its exact location where it is in real life / on the set, but rather just be moved instead of some of the buildings on the right hand side. So we're building the left hand side right now, building a few of the shops and stuff, which again could be open. They do love that in a sort of like Diagon Alley and stuff. You've got all of those like little shops with like the wands and things in the windows, things like interacting with you. I don't know, there could be all of that. We have no idea. It's literally just a concept art and they're building it right now. Technically not right now, because well, they're just doing groundworks and archaeological digs and stuff, which seem to be coming to a close now from passing by. And you can see all of that on my updates. I'm going to be updating you as much as I can with this project. Of course, I do live quite close to the site and I absolutely love this project. I can't wait to see the entire thing develop. I'll keep you updated on when, I don't know, the coaster track is delivered, Hill Valley starts to go up, the town hall gets struck by lightning. All that stuff. You never know. I'll keep you updated. But as you can see, we're building more shops right here. And yeah, it's just so exciting to know that Hill Valley from Back to the Future might be coming to Universal Studios UK. We might actually see a Back to the Future roller coaster. Oh, it's going to be mental, and I cannot wait for it. And I've probably said that a million times already, but I hope you're enjoying the return of this series. I'm trying to keep it back as much as I can, because of course the last episode was like 2 months ago again, so that was a bit of a gap, like I've said. But I'm going to try and get better with it, because I absolutely love building this park, and I'm getting more and more excited for the project, so I'm going to then want to recreate it more and more, actually be able to walk around it. And then finally we're going to get an animation of everything they're adding to the park in real life, and it'll be completely different to anything I've built or just things moved around a lot, so we'll have to restart this series and go again. Which is exciting, but bloody frustrating, because I don't want to have to build absolutely everything again in different places and stuff, but I'm committed to this recreation, this pre-creation. I want to have it down to a T before the park officially opens. Of course, the dark rides and stuff will be very difficult to try and master, especially the ones that are brand new to the UK. But I'm going to give it a go. I don't care. So, it's like the inside section on this Back to the Future coaster. We don't know what that's going to be like. I'm going to have to try and build that, and you'll see that in the very near future. I'm going to show you the entirety of Hill Valley in this episode, but I'm not going to show you a POV of the coaster, because I'm going to release a separate video with the actual POV of the thing, just the POV, not another episode of this series, but an actual dedicated video to that POV, and showcase some off-ride footage and maybe a night ride, I don't know. And then you'll see the inside section of what I've done there, and hopefully it lives up to your guys' expectation. As we move on to the other side of Hill Valley now, I've built that entire side over there. It's a lot of just different style buildings, just again looking at the references from the films, and and going from there. Trying to put... There's a lot of buildings that don't have much detail, but I've tried to put more detail onto them. So if some of them do look a bit bland at first, don't worry. They will be having added details. As you can see, that's like a poster or something. I need to sort of add that decal on, but I won't do that in this time lapse. And then, yeah, just moving along swiftly. But yeah, in the actual real sort of models and stuff that I've looked at for Hill Valley, this section here is very boring because I think they show the other side more in the films. So what I've then gone and done is built this side quite generic at first along where the town hall is. And as you get up towards the entrance of the area, you're actually going to see the diner, and then you're going to have it like sort of go around the corner like it does in the concept art, and maybe have a couple more buildings there with some nice greenery, maybe an extra pathway to go to an expansion plot in the future, maybe. And then you're also going to have the seating area. So exciting stuff. Brand new expansion plot, brand new rides, brand new theming. No, the seating outside is more important. As you can see, you got these nice wooden beams going in. Didn't know they were a piece in the game. And that's the thing about recreations, actually. Finding pieces. I've obviously been building my own custom theme park, so doing whatever I want with these massive scale projects. But having to sort of use individual pieces, you find some things that you never knew were in the game, and you use them for something completely different to what they were intended for. So those wooden beams were probably meant for just, I don't know, some cool looking background, but now I've used them for a trim around a building that is literally just like a banner around it, and that's it. Yeah, that was a good comparison. But as you can see, more windows going in. A lot of these buildings, once again, I spoke about the piece count earlier. I would make them all inside, and you can go all the way in and go to all these different shops and everything, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be like. And once the park actually opens, I'm probably going to go in and completely redo my recreation and actually make it one-to-one, make like a version 500 or whatever it would be at that time. With maybe some of the inside of the buildings, but we just don't know what that's going to look like yet. And I don't want to waste a lot of pieces going into that when we're probably not really going to go in those shops anyway for now. So there will be the diner. I'm going to try and do the inside of that, and you'll see that next time. And I'm of course going to do the inside of all the rides, because that's the whole point of a recreation. I'll do all of that, but not too many of the shops and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. But yes, here's like some sort of, I didn't actually know what this was fully. It looks like a classic cinema type building. I decided to build this here. There's a lot of like yellows and reds, quite a nice white colour in the background as well, like the marble effect as it goes along. Yeah, there you go. It's just, Hill Valley is such a nice area because everything's so square. Oh, there you go, it's finished. I didn't know it cut like that. Yeah, why not? This is when I've actually taken those back buildings that are supposed to sort of enclose Hill Valley that they've not included in this concept art. So I've actually put it on this side where I think the diner will be. That's me starting that building now. But yeah, Hill Valley's such a nice area to build because it's so square, and it's like everything's very like, it's sort of blocky in a way, so it's a lot easier to line things up, and it looks a lot more satisfying when you sort of look at it. Royd's Records there. That is right next to the diner, so that'll go in a second. But yeah, it's just a nice little area. And when I show you in real time the sort of background where you can see the coaster going above the buildings and stuff, it looks so cool. Like, I genuinely, it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn with like, oh, look at my recreation, it's so epic. It was more so saying that the actual ride, when it's real, and this area potentially when it does get built, walking in there and seeing the coaster, it's going to be insane. And that's what I meant by that. I didn't mean, oh, my recreation is the best thing in Planet Coaster, because it's really not. There's so many things people build in this game that are just leagues above anything I can do. I wish I had the skills that some people do, and I've tried my best with this project, as I always have with any of my Planet Coaster projects, but hopefully one day we'll get to the point where it looks identical to real life, because it still looks a bit like Planet Coaster, which I guess is the point when it's a game. Anyway, the diner's now going in, the sort of door there, which is on like a corner, which actually you can see in the concept art is also on a corner, making me think that this is a diner even more. The colour scheme of that building as well is the exact same. Well, except from the brick, but why does that matter? It still looks like the diner colour. Soda, ice cream, coffee, sandwiches, what a lineup on the front of it there as well. and then copy pasting it over just to make that next wall. Yeah, seeing the sort of view out to the lake and out towards Minions Land when you walk back out of Hill Valley, that'll be quite fun. But yeah, just that diner on the corner, that'll be such a nice place to eat. I think they'd be stupid if they didn't include it. And there you go, cafe. I call it a diner a lot, but it goes through cafe, diner, it just goes through a lot over the course of the different eras, and I've decided to call it a cafe in this one, mixing a few things in from the past, present and future eras of Hill Valley. There's a few references as well to a few things that you might spot when we go into real time. And yeah, that's on the corner. There's a lot more detail that can go into a lot of these buildings, and I'm sure they will over time, but as for now, it's a good basis to sort of run off of as I build the pathways in and have that more open path going into the area. And I struggle with the pathways as well. What am I doing? Oh my god, I'm having a mare. I'll save you the crying. Let me go into real time. And you join me here in the Universal Studios UK main entrance plaza. The globe is spinning. People are loving life. Why are you leaving? Don't walk through my shrubbery, thank you. I'm not a fan of how many people are leaving, but as you can see, we're going through the archway to Universal Studios UK. If you haven't seen when we built all of this sort of entrance area, then go and check out the rest of this series, probably like 2 years ago. Those episodes now. But as I walk down the main sort of street, not that it's Disney, as you can see the back of the hotel there, you've got like a shop over here, which eventually will be a shop. I just haven't got round to it yet. And further down, of course, the view over the lake, which at some point when this recreation is towards the end, you'll be able to see loads of different rides and attractions all across the skyline. But for now, we have a Minions Land over there, where you can actually see a minion on top of a cupcake. Banana, which of course has Super Silly Funland on the water, but we're not heading in that direction because we've sort of done part of that. We're heading to the left, and as you can see, there is a big gap before we reach what we've been working on, which I have laid out a little bit of pathway for. This is where the Paddington area, or the potential Paddington area, will be. According to the concept art, you can see a pot of marmalade, we believe. So I don't think it could be anything else. And yeah, that will be built in this corner over here. And I'll definitely be doing that in the next episode. Oh, hang on. There's a jump. Can we actually make that? Let me have a bit of a run up. Ready? Oh, my game died. That is now completely fixed. We don't have to jump over that and do epic parkour that crashes the game. As you can see, we have now reached Hill Valley. And I will say, it does feel a little bit too open. Obviously, we're just going off of what the concept art has on it, but maybe I'm starting to think that that grassy area didn't just have trees painted over it to cover the grassy area, but in fact had a couple of different buildings and stuff along this section here. So I have actually left the cafe completely empty because in the films this area here is where the cafe is, so I didn't want to build it all and then have to move it all, and then yeah, so basically I might be moving that before we do the next episode. And there you go, there is the clock tower and town hall. Welcome to Hill Valley, a nice place to live. Please drive carefully. A nice place to live? They're not going to whack on a sign, it's a bad place to live, are they? There are quite a few more details on that sign in the films, but I will be adding that in due course as we come over to the left-hand side, the area we built first. Got some simple telephone wire poles, and then we've obviously got all the buildings behind, a few little references in there. Hill Valley Stationers, and then you just got some more little buildings with some like awnings above the windows. Even more. I forgot to put a company name on that. Whoops. But that is the building with that pointy edge that we spoke about earlier. And then this one over here is the one with the little curves, which I actually do think I can raise up a little bit. But in the films, I'm not actually too sure what this is, but it looks a little bit like a cinema in a way, or like a theatre. So I've done that over here, put Back to the Future on it, of course. And through those doors, I think will be the exit and a gift shop for the big ride back there. Because I probably should point out, when you're further back this way, yeah, the coaster just towers above the whole area. And then as we come towards the middle, you've got Welcome to Hill Valley, that sign again. An American flag in the center, which is very still. Not very windy today then. And then over here, we can get a proper look at the town hall once again. And oh, perfect timing. There it goes in the background very slowly. The DeLorean train of the Back to the Future coaster. yeah, this thing is just ridiculous. And I do like how you can't overly see it over this town hall, even though I have pointed out it is massive behind it. But there is certain angles where you do stand around in Hill Valley and you can't see that coaster at all, which I think is really nice. But yeah, over here, a few more references, just random stuff. I've done a little bit of an inside to that building there. That'll be the sort of thing we see in a lot of these buildings. Just simple insides, and then yeah, not doing that cafe yet in case I do move it. Because as cool as this view is, you got to remember that this is a main pathway, and of course they do like to section off their areas. You've got the Jurassic Park area that will have that archway, the Paddington area will probably have something, so to have some sort of entryway from each side, having buildings separate it in the middle, I think might do this area a favor, because it just looks way too open. Even maybe some trees or something, I'm not too sure. But there's also a show venue on the water, which I'll have to cover up somehow, because otherwise all the sound will just go into that area. But I just think this view, and I know we haven't looked all the way up to the town hall yet, you've got the sign right on the bottom, the American flag, the town hall, and the coaster in the background. Again, perfect timing. I just think it comes together really, really nicely. And speaking of the town hall, that is where you will enter the queue line, and there'll be a massive sign above this somewhere, sort of like stating this is the entrance to the ride, and you enter into a lovely queue line in there. And I'm sure I'll be showing you that at some point soon, along with behind the scenes here where you can see these warehouse buildings where the coaster goes in and out of. I'll show you all of that next time or in the future, because as much as I would love to show you a full POV of this ride, it is not 100% finished yet. I'll save that for a separate individual video where I'll showcase all of what I've been working on, and of course show you that on-ride POV with back row POVs, everything like that, all of it, and that will be coming very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that, and I'll see you next time for more episodes of this Universal Studios UK pre-creation. See you next time.